Okay, so today will be verse number 5. Hatred is overcome only by non-hatred. The story of Kali Yakini, verse 5. Actually, the meditation we did today, even every day, is about loving kindness. It's about the opposite of the hatred, right? So that's why we start our class with metta meditation, because metta is something that we always lose, right? We know it too much, so we lose it too much, right? So it has sometime not become our daily habit. So that's why we start the class with metta, hoping that this will continue throughout the day, and you will learn it. Because I know you don't want to be angry, but the issue is that you don't understand the conditions that make you angry. That is the problem here. Everybody knows, anybody, even non-religious, even other religious people, they also know it's not good to be angry. But the issue is, when it comes to the situation, they cannot understand the conditions that bring the sleeping anger active. So that is where Buddhism says that you need to know not just the akusala, not just the kusala, what conditions lead kusala to come, akusala to come, kusala to keep, akusala to go down. That's the difference between wisdom in Buddhism and other philosophies. So we don't take it as a very standalone thing, right? Because if not, someone who read suttas and Buddhism uh, thoroughly and substantially must have not got angry at all, right? That's why we need to know what are the causes and conditions of our kusala kusala activities. So let's go to number 74. So the overall idea is that you need to think with metta, talk with metta, and act with metta. Where did the Buddha say this? That's a good question, right? You normally, it's a meditation. Metta is a meditation, right? And you have heard a lot of things about it. But have you heard the next level of the metta? The next level of the metta is that you need to bring it to your thoughts, speeches, and actions. And Buddha said that in explicit terms. Where did the Buddha say that? In the discipline of the lay people. There's a sutta for lay people discipline, right? What is the sutta name? Of course, this is not sutta study, but Sigalovada Sutta. Sigalovada Sutta, Diganikaya 34, if I'm mistaken. Go take a look. DN 34. Here. Panchahiko Gahapatiputta Tanehi Kulaputtena Uparimadisa Sama. That means how a lay person behaves in his or her life. So you can see number 1 is Mettena Kaya Kammena. That means act with metta. Mettena Vachi Kammena. Act, not act. Speak with metta. Mettena Mano Kammena. Think with metta. This is a different higher level of metta. So now we are going to the translation. See? Buddha talks about fake friends. Interesting, right? You can see here. Yeah, by loving deeds of body, speech, and mind. Okay? So these are responsible. That's why I'm trying to say that even our today's topic is about metta. So the metta has to go to our actions, our speeches, and our thoughts. Metta should not live in your bedroom, right? Oftentimes, metta lives in the bedroom, 6 to 6:15, maybe 7 to 7:15 at night, and then what do you call? And you become very angry during the non-metta hours, I mean, a lot of non-metta hours coming. That's why it has to go into our daily life. It has to become a habit, because what we do in our life, for the most part, are basically coming from our habits. Metta has to be a habit, daily habit, and it has to be materialized through our actions, thoughts, and speeches. It shouldn't only be a mantra, just like how I did it today. I mean, this is how we start. We get into the metta, but it shouldn't live in that place only. May I be well, happy, peaceful, right? How to create this happiness? Only when I do actions with metta, when I speak with metta to somebody, right? When I think with metta. So this is why we need to learn the opposite side of metta. So this is a very wonderful Dhamma teaching with his story where metta did not happen, and how the big chaos was unfolded because of that issue. Let us go into the stanza now. At the same time, may I ask you what we did in the last couple of weeks? First story, second story, they are all what you call the same idea, but Buddha teaches us what will happen to you when you do an akusala, right? Akusala will follow you, right? So don't create any akusala, because akusala after that follows you, right? I think you want some other people to follow you, right? But never akusala stalk you, I mean, because when akusala starts stalking you, it's going to be a problem. Second is, when you do a kusala activity, that kusala happiness will follow you, right? All the way in your sansaric life. And last week we discussed about why it is important to manage our anger. We know anger is very normal depending on our training, right? It's a training, right? So then if you manage your anger, then that will lead to a lot of happiness. That's why we say that rather than saying overcome your anger at a higher level, we normally say be slow to be slow to your anger. Be slow. At least you will know something to do in that experience. But it's not happening among many people's lives due to their lack of Dhamma training. So if you want to check someone has a good training, then you can test that person from metta side. Okay, let's go to this stanza now. 74. Okay, let us read together. Dhammapada stanza number 5. Nahi verena verani sammantidh kudachana. Averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantano. Okay, now there are some of the prepositions here, right? Now here we have either, and then what do you call either and esa. Never here by enmity, that means hatred. Those with enmity elate, pacified. They are pacified by amity, that means metta. This is a timeless truth. Okay, so we go to the translation from in order. Either in this world, verani, hatred, verena, through hatred, kudachanang, at no time, nahi sammanti. Sammanti means subside, pacifies. It is only by averena. Averena means metta. Another word for metta. Perhaps we will open another word file to write some of the words. Okay. Avera. Avera means metta. Another term, avera. So, verena, averena. Verena means hatred. Averena means metta, non-hatred. Actually, anger is the first, what you call, thing that you will show when you are into hatred. But Buddhism talks about a range of words with regard to different states of hatred. Okay, let us discuss that a little bit, but before that, we will finish. In this world, either Verani, any types of hatred, hatred comes from different sources. Verena Kudachanang nahi sammanti. That means hatred cannot cease any other hatred. Right? Averenecha, only it is by metta, sammanti. Such enmities, such hatreds can be pacified. This is sanantano, means universal. Sanantano means universal. Dhammo means wisdom. Now here you see Dhammo. Dhammo here means wisdom. Right? I think we can see this in today's world, right? When you have a little bit of power and you challenge other people, thinking you can take over, and then that is at the global political level. Even if you take it to your normal life, when you have a little bit of money, when you talk to people who are less impoverish, who are less richer than you, and you feel you want to challenge them, Sometimes people might think that that is a way how you show off your money and all that, right? But Buddhism says all these are futile activities, right? So here Dhammo means wisdom. Ida verena verani kudachanang, never. Nahi sammanti, averenja sammanti, esa Dhammo sanant. That means Buddhism clearly teaches us that in absolute sense, people might think this is from different angles. There is no encouragement for anybody to win a situation through fighting and war. But sometimes countries, people have to go through dual realities when they are choiceless when it comes to certain situations, right? But Buddhist idea is not to go for a war, not to create a fight. Because when you fought with somebody, whenever they are more powerful than you, they're going to take you down. Right? You create a lot of anger and revenge and vengeance. Right? So now, before we move on to the story, can we learn a little bit about hatred and what are the types of emotions, feelings that display hatred? Okay. Avera is another term for the metta. So here we understand Vera. Vera means hate. Vera means hate. Now we know the anger. What is the Pali word for anger? Huh? Who is becoming angry in Pali, right? Right. Right? But we should know the Pali word for anger. Then only we can know what the Buddha is talking about with regard to. Pali word is koda. Koda. Koda means, so we'll put like this. Koda means, No. Koda means anger. Hate is the larger, broader word. You become angry because you have hatred. Now we are moving on to what you call inner things that are happening with hatred. And then, what are the other mental states that you show your hatred? Another one is Vyapada. Vyapada means ill will. Ill will. Sometimes people even go to this level, right? That is very dangerous, I think. Some people, they become angry and they go back again to normal. But some people, they become angry, go to this level. What does ill will mean? Vyapada? Ill will? Pardon me? Harm. In short, wishing suffering on other people. Okay? Wishing suffering on other people. Right? That's called Vyapada. So can a Buddhist wish suffering on other person? Not in the Dhamma class, outside Dhamma class. Right. Dhamma class, you are very good people. Eh? Oh, I mean, of course, you're supposed to be good. Outside, the real world, that real world, in that, can you? It will come to you, but you don't choose it. You choose a better one. Because ill will is very bad. You create multiple akusalas. Did the Buddha say this in any other sutta? Vyapada is very bad? Huh? Jealous? Yeah, we will come to that too, slowly. Yeah? Don't be excited, It takes time to go to those levels. I'm asking, is there any sutta where Buddha talks about ill will? What is that sutta? Metta sutta. You all chant it, right? How did the Buddha say that? Naparo paranni kubbeta nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi vyarosana patiga sanya. Final line. Na anyang anyang dukkang ichya nanya manyasa dukkang mich. Let no one wish someone else suffering. What is that? Vyapada. See, all the good teachings are in our chanting book, but we never know. That is the problem here. That's why we have to learn this chanting book with translation. Otherwise, it will not benefit us. Because now how many times have we been chanting Metta Sutta in our daily life? Right? How many times? But it has not really benefited us as long as we don't know the meaning. So we only got the chanting blessing. We didn't get the Dhamma blessing. Dhamma blessing only comes when I know what is being chanted. Right? Now, Vyapada, it is another mental state that comes to us when we have hatred, hate. Any another mental state which will happen to you after hatred, after, this? Jealousy. What's the Pali word for that? Issa. Jealousy or envy. What is the connection of jealousy to hatred? That's a good question to ask. What's the connection? Jealousy is being jealous. Is there a hatred part in jealousy? Anybody? Compare. Okay. Yeah, comparison is not always bad, right? We compare to become better people also, right? Sometimes someone is more patient than me, so I learn from that. If I don't compare, I will continue to become impatient, right? There's a healthy comparison that is good. But what we do is unhealthy comparisons. We look for the fairness in akusala ways, right? Where is the hatred part in jealousy? Now you see you compare it, definitely. You see the comparison and you see that you don't have it. Then you don't like it, right? You don't think that that person should have it, right? Sometimes there are two people. If you want to have it, I also should have it. If not, if I don't have it, or maybe if you have it, I should have better than you, higher than you. There are different people, they have so many fantasies in akusala, akusala fantasies. I call them, right? Just like food fantasies. Right? So when you learn about these akusala fantasies, then you know where we are actually. So Issa means that you compare due to your lack of training in Dhamma to an unhealthy thing, then you don't like it. You don't think that person should have it, right? So there is a form of hatred. And then what people do, they do a lot of things to stop it. They're going to send petitions, they're going to character assassinate, they're going to badly comment on social media. How many things people do to protect their jealousy, protect their selfish thoughts in today's world? So many things. Some people even do the worst things too, right? So jealousy is one kind of form that anybody can express hatred. What are the other forms? Covetousness, abhijja, but that is more towards lobha actually. Strong, strong greed. What are the other forms of hatred? You look like as if you had never such kind of thoughts in your life. I mean, so very impeccable beings. I mean, just landed from Abhasra Brahmaval. Some people. What's really going on with regard to hate? So, a curse. Yeah, that's a good one. Curse is part of Vyapada, right? Curse, right? You wish suffering, right? Curse. And then we talk about curse in our last class. And what else? Koda, Vyapada, Issa, and Patiga. Patiga. Patiga means mental striking. Actually, this is the nature of any types of hatred. That means it strikes you. It strikes you. It strikes you. If you have Koda, you strike. Vyapada, strike. Issa, strike. Patiga, strikes. Mentally, strikes. What are the other forms? There are so many forms. Huh? Huh? Defilements. That's a common name in English given to all the akusala actually. It not only includes hatred, also include lobha and all these things. Agata. We'll leave this one step down. Agata. What is this agata? Agata. Also, these are real Pali words, huh? The Buddha has picked up these Pali words to teach us to know different levels of our anger, hatred. So only when you know these Pali words, you can learn from suttas. Agata means resentment. And Buddha also teaches us how people become resentful. There are multiple ways someone can become resentful. One way is that my family, my loved ones, did not help me in my life. Okay? This is one resentment. So I'm very angry about them. Second is my family helped me, but not enough. Right? Second, so I'm very hateful about my family. Third is that my family helped me, but they also help my enemies. Right? This is from the past. And from the present way, my family is not helping me enough, so I'm very hateful. My family, no, my family is not helping me at all now. My family is not helping me enough. My family is still helping my enemies. And for the future, a lot of doubts about it. My family will not help me. My family will not help me enough. My family will help my enemies. So resentment can source from 9 sources. Very interesting. So resentment means agata. Actually, when you learn Dhamma, you find answers to these questions. You find the root cause of these issues, right? Then you are not going to depend on your loved ones, right? Because how can we manage these loved ones? They will be with us, they will not be with us. They might pass away, they might change their mind. So we are creating the proper attitude towards loved ones, even people we don't like. So agata means resentment. So this way, there are different states of hatred. So you need to know. Now, what's the other one? I think we missed one. Koda. What's the other one? There's another one. Vyapada. Okay, we had to go to 16. We will go to 16 upakilesas to find it. 16 upakilesas. Are they? There's one very important thing. Upanaha. This is the one. Upanaha. Upanaha means? Huh? Yeah, upanaha in our word means revenge. This is also a mental state that comes from hatred. Upanaha. Actually, today's story is about that. Revenge. Okay? Revenge. Let us also go back again to this thing. You can see any other covetousness, ill will we had, koda. Koda, you can see, anger. You can see it here. Upanaha. What do you call? Revenge. And what else? Makka. Denigration. This is also interesting. Makka. What is Makka actually? Makka means Makka means look down upon, but better way to say is that covering other people's qualities. Covering other people qualities. Do people do that? They don't want to acknowledge that. No, like then you hear that that kind of person donated something, and somebody else is telling you, that person didn't want it anymore. That's why he went and donated that thing to that place. Even you don't accept their generosity. Very angry about their qualities. Right? That is called Makka. And then jealousy. That is Issa. We have it here, right? We discuss Issa. And then stinginess, hypocrisy. Okay, these are not part of anger, hatred. But Macharya is part of it. It is part of Dhammapada, Lobha part. Put it here. Macharya. So next day I'm going to ask you, so pay attention to this. Macharya means stinginess. May I know what is the difference between Lobha and Macharya, greed and stinginess? Lobha is Lobha, greedy. But stinginess means, yeah, you don't want to give. Why? There is another reason for not giving them. Greed means you are greedy. You just don't want to give it, simply. But when you have Macharya, it has developed, the Lobha has developed to another level. Actually, that level is hatred. So it's a dual level, Lobha dosa. When you are stingy, how would you know? You don't want to give something to someone because you don't like that person using it. Right? There was a student I had in a university, and student is so much stingy about his laptop. Very old laptop. He brings it to the class, and he's sharing with me. I even don't want to open it. I said, why? It's so precious to me, so sentimental. Very old laptop, right? 15 years ago laptop, right? So then what if somebody asks, today I didn't bring my laptop, can I borrow your laptop? No, never, it's sentimental, right? So this kind of idea means you don't want to give because you don't like other people eat it, use it. It is not greed. It is a different, higher level of akusala. So then, because there is a hatred that you don't like, you have a dislike, other people use it, so it is also part of hatred. Now you know how far hatred can go in our life. So please look at it. Avera is but we want metta, but vera, hatred. Another word for this is dosa, vera dosa. So koda, anger, upanaha, revenge, vyapada, ill will, curse, issa, jealousy, agata, resentment, makka. You are not very appreciative about other people because you don't like. If you acknowledge, you feel like something is happening to you. Are there people like that? They don't accept other people good qualities because they think if they accept, it will be a kind of degradation for them. So they always cover, okay, that is not something that we have to discuss about it. It's also because that person is having hatred towards other people's success. Right? Very, very bad qualities actually. I mean, perhaps we may have be coming from our family backgrounds, environment. We may have been with these things because we are coming from different backgrounds. But when we know these things, we have to fix them in our life. And Macharya is stinginess, and Patiga is the nature of all types of hatred. That means once things happen like that, the above stuff, then there is a certain striking, mental conflict happens. Actually, Patiga means a conflict, internal conflict, right? So sometimes we have a kind of a honeymoon period with these the opposite of these mental states. But once there's a clash, then it's going away, at that point onwards. Okay, I think that's enough for that part. Yes. Because dosa is more, how to say, dosa is more dosa is creating lots of mess in our akusal experience. Even if you take Abhidhamma also talks about more dosa. And even you see people in during the Buddha's time, they did a lot of dana and good things, but they passed away with another thing, remorse. We have to include that. Huh? What is remorse? Pali word? Kokocha. Good that I remembered that. Remorse. What is remorse? That you don't like something happened, that you did to somebody and it's happened to you. Hatred. So now, the reason why I brought this is that somebody may be very generous doing dana, but maybe became angry about certain things. Maybe they are hiding about their real true nature. But just before that person is going to pass away, certain remorse arises, regret arises. So that means dosa has lot of levels of akusala compared to lobha. That's why you have to be very careful with regard to your hatred part. Sometimes this is the basic reality we see among many, right? You see, we don't talk about many greedy Buddhists. Huh? Buddhists are usually generous. I mean, anybody. But there may be angry Buddhists, I mean, anger can be more challenging for many people, right? So that's why dosa is creating lots of mess in our life, because that's a reality which the Buddha is talking to us. So uh, better we are supposed to watch about our hatred, because it can come from different contexts. Only when you know these contexts, you can manage them in your real time. Yeah, because we are into lobha dosa because of moha, because we are deluded, right? All these dosa experiences come to us because we are deluded. We are confused in our reality. Huh? No, moha is moha, and it's delusion. That means we are misperceived everything, right? But dosa can play out in many forms. Sometimes lobha also can play out in some other forms, not like the number of dosa actually. Okay, I think we will discuss more later. Now let's go into the story. Those who attempt to conquer hatred by hatred are like warriors who take weapons to overcome others who bear arms. This does not end hatred, hate dosa, but gives it room to grow. But ancient wisdom has advocated a different timeless strategy to overcome hatred, dosa. This eternal wisdom is to meet hatred with non-hatred metta. The method of trying to conquer hatred through hatred dosa never succeeds in overcoming hatred. But the method of overcoming dosa, hatred, through metta is eternally effective. That is why that method is described as eternal wisdom. Let's go to the story. All right, the story of Kali Yakkini. Who is Yakkini in Pali? Yakkini? Yakkini means a demon, female spirit. That means Buddhism has male yakka and female yakka, right? Okay, so I would like to ask someone to read, just like how we do. So the first person is to read while residing until the dust feud started. Yeah. Anyway.
While residing at the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi, the Buddha spoke this verse with reference to a certain woman who was barren and another capable of bearing a child.
Okay, I think we will give the chance to others too. Okay, now the Buddha was staying at Jetavana monastery, Savatthi, and this was about a certain woman who was barren. Who is barren? Childless. Childless, and another capable of bearing a child. Okay, so it's a feud between two women. And then the next person, who will be the next?
Once there lived a householder whose wife was barren. Being unable to bear a child and afraid that she would be mistreated by her husband and her mother-in-law, she arranged for her husband and her to marry another woman. But on 2 occasions, as soon as she knew the second wife was pregnant, the barren wife gave her food mixed with drugs, causing her to have a miscarriage. On her 3rd pregnancy, the pregnant wife kept it to herself without informing the barren wife. But when the latter came to know about it, she again caused an abortion. Eventually, the second wife died in childbirth. Before her death, the unfortunate woman was filled with hatred and vowed vengeance on the barren wife and her future offspring. Thus, a feud started.
Okay, that is the basic story, right? So that means there was a householder and his married wife was childless, and then she was insecure about what would happen to her in the marriage. And then at that time, there was some provisions for bringing another wife. And then what happened? And then she suggested husband to marry another woman. And then what happened? Although she let this happen, but she becomes jealous about it. Because how come she, right? And then what happened? She did things to stop it, but at a certain point, she even caused certain food to become, poison, and then she had a miscarriage. And this happened continuously. And on her 3rd pregnancy, what happened? She did an abortion, and then she passed away. But she knew that why she's passing away is due to the other wife activities. So she was very hateful about what she's doing, but she couldn't do anything for that, and she passed away. But she passed away with a curse. So this vengeance is a curse. Now we discuss about the curse, even our 2nd class too. So curse is a very bad akusala, right? That's why when we deal with other people, we have to be very careful in not bringing things to that level. Then you might say How to stop them? Yeah, we cannot stop them. That's why the Buddha teaches us that we need to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas. At least we save those opportunities, those such opportunities to happen, right? So she made a curse. And then what happened? What are the effects of the curse at that point? Then we will ask someone else to read at this point.
Among their later existences, the two were reborn as a hen and a female cat, a doe and a leopard, and finally as the daughter of a nobleman of Savatthi and a female evil spirit. One day she, Kaliyakini, was in pursuit of the nobleman's daughter and her baby. When this lady heard that the Buddha was giving a religious discourse at the Jetavana monastery, she fled to him and placed her son at his feet for protection. The evil spirit was prevented from entering the monastery. She was later called in, and both the lady and the evil spirit were admonished by the Buddha. The Buddha told them about their past trouble as rival wives and how they had been harboring hatred towards each other. They were made to see that hatred could only cause more hatred and that it could only cease through friendship, understanding, and goodwill. Both realized their mistake and on admonition of the Buddha made their peace with each other.
Okay, great. Now we know what happened after that. So what happened? The woman who was passing away made a curse, and as a result of that curse, and also due to the fact that the other woman also did something wrong to her, and they were born in their own favorable conditions to create their feud, their curse. What happened? They were reborn as a hen and a female cat. So you know what happened? Female cat is always looking for eating, the offsprings of the hen. Sometimes this happens, in some places, a mother cat eats her own children. And it's going to be a shock to other people. Why is it? Every time she's delivering babies and kitten, she's eating, right? And normally it is not happening. Why is it? So anybody who is going to be reborn in her womb is going to be eaten by her. So maybe there are some sansaric connections to these issues. We never know. So what happened? The female cat ate all the babies of the hen. And then the next life, so what we have to understand is the woman who passed away from that abortion should be the female cat, and she ate the other woman children. And the next life, they took the other way around. A doe could be a rabbit or a deer, cubs, and leopard, and they ate together. And finally what happened? One woman was reborn as a daughter of a nobleman, Katya, good person, and the other one became a Yakini, female evil spirits. Can we discuss about Yakini? What do you know about Yakka? When you listen to chanting, there are some chantings are about chasing away of Yakkas and Yakinis. Have you come across any Pali Sutta about chasing away such evil spirits? Huh? Have you heard about this sutta? Athanatiya Sutta? Athanatiya Sutta in Digha Nikaya. Okay, this sutta is misperceived by many, and they are thinking that if you chant this sutta, all the spirits, all the yakka yakinis will go away. Actually, if you go to the sutta, it is not like that. One day, the head of the yakka yakini, his name is Kuvera or Vesavana, approached the Buddha and then told the Buddha, Bhante, I know your disciples. Monks, nuns go to forest, and when they go to the forest, they don't know about our presence. So there are some yakkas and yakkinis, more yakkas, yakkinis. They trouble them. They trouble your disciples. So if you can teach them Ata Natya Sutta, they can chant it. So yakkas will feel your monks and nuns metta. So they will not harm you. But what is the popular idea? When you chant it, you chase them away. You can't chase them away. They are more powerful. But only if you are a good person, you can have some sort of peace. But why and how come they can trouble monks and nuns? You know, in Buddhism, Buddhism believes that every tree has a spirit. Okay? So then, if a monk or nun goes to a tree sitting at the foot of a tree and doing the meditation, and they think that you are trespassing my territory. That is the connection. Why yakkas can do something. Anyway, so yakka yakkini, and it is also said in the sutta by the Vesavana Kuvera, the king of all the yakkas, that I know you teach people not to kill, not to steal, not to sexually misbehave, not to lie, not to take intoxicants. But not all yakkas like that idea. Yakkas like killing other people. Yakkas like stealing other people's stuff. Yakkas like sexually misbehaving. Yakkas like lying. Yakkas like taking intoxicants. So how do we know that? We know it when humans become yakka as a human. When someone when someone start killing other people, yakka has come to that person, you know. Yakka version of the human. When someone keeps stealing stuff, yakka version has come to. Sexually misbehaving everywhere all the time, yakka has come to that person. Lying all the time, yakka has come. Always being with intoxicants, yakka nature has come to that person. But the thing is, they are 24/7 doing that thing, you know. 24/7 breaking the precepts. That's why humans are a little better, you know. So we have to understand that yakkas are more powerful, but when you have your own sila practice, you have some help, some refuge. So anyway, this one woman in this feud became a yakkini. Actually, this does not say in this part. It is said that this yakkini, the female spirit, told her. Actually, what happened? The other woman was delivering her first baby, and she delivered the baby, and she went to work actually to ask the husband to take care of the baby. So in the meantime, this female yakkini came to the house and telling the husband that I'm a friend of your wife, so give me the baby. It is said that she ate the baby in the story. It happened first and second time. He said female spirits can do that. And so the woman knew it. Something is happening to my babies. And there is no any mark, any information what happens to my babies. So she suggested her husband, this time I am going to give birth to the baby in my mother's house. That is near Savatthi. So we have to go there. But then what happened? This Kali Yakkini knew it earlier, and she said, wherever you go, I follow you, I eat your babies. And she said that, because you did this to me. And then she felt it. Then when she was following them, they rushed to Jetavanarama, right? Where the Buddha was giving a Dhamma talk. So what happened when they went to Jetavanarama? It is said that Yakkini, yakkas cannot enter Jetavanarama because of the power of the Buddha. Because the gate of the Jetavanarama has devas. So they stop her entering the Jetavanarama. And then what happened? Then she placed her baby son at the Buddha's feet for protection. Right? And you can see here, and evil spirit was prevented. And then what happened? The Buddha then gave a Dhamma talk. What was the Dhamma talk Buddha gave? Nahi verena verani. Sammanti the kudachanang. Averena sammanti is a Dhammo. This Pali stanza. And then it is said that the female spirit became a Sotapanna. Very interesting, right? She became a Sotapanna. Normally, when a Yakka or Yakkini became a Sotapanna, they cannot be a Yakka Yakkini anymore. They have to be changed to Deva form. You know, there are some other story, Alavaka story, and this story. They were Yakkas earlier. Because when you become a Sotapanna, you have to change into a Deva. That's very interesting, right? You are a Yakka, you are changing into a Deva at that point, a deity. So what happened? The Buddha explained what happened to them in the samsara. And Buddha was trying to give lots of examples and why it carried to this level. And then finally, the female spirit became a Sotapanna. And there's something interesting happening after that, but we will learn it from somebody else. Who is going to read the next part? Can read this part.
The Buddha then requested the woman to hand over her son to the evil spirit. Fearing for the safety of her son, she hesitated. But because of her devotion and confidence in the Buddha, she did hand over her son.
So Buddha even asked her to give the son to the female spirit. Because why Buddha said that? The Buddha knew that she became a Sotapanna already, but the other woman doesn't know, right? So what happened? The next, after this, last.
The child was warmly received by the evil spirit. After kissing and caressing the child tenderly like her own son, she handed back the child to his mother. As a result, there was no more hatred.
Then Yakka even kiss and caress and then affectionately took care of the baby, right? Like her own son, and then gave back to the mother again. So see what a blessing that these two people had by seeing the Buddha. Otherwise, if they had not seen the Buddha, then they would have carried out their hatred long term. Actually, you know what happened after this? The story is going in the commentaries. It is said this family brought the evil spirit into their house and then gave accommodation to her in a certain attic outside the house. Every time, because they were doing farming, they were farmers actually. So they need what you call forecasting about their cultivation, right? So this now Deva, she was telling them, this is the good time to cultivate. So this time you cultivate your land and you get the harvest by this time. So this year don't cultivate until June because it's not good. So finally she passed away in that attic. That means I don't think that if you are angry with somebody and you have this kind of thing, one day you can bring an evil spirit back to your house. That's not a good idea. But this is how the story was ended. So if you look at the story, you can see that when we are so adamant about conflicts with other people, you have to keep in mind that they are not ending in this life. They are continuing to our next life. Just like the opposite of this idea, the affection and the caring that you are having for somebody, you are bringing into another life. Same thing. Just like Prince Siddhartha, Princess Yashodhara, they brought it to the next life, right? And Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita. There are pros and cons. But what you need to know is that if you are having anything like that, it will go into your next life. So you need to either understand what happened and let go, at least to finish those things in this life before leaving it to the next lives. So that's the important thing to learn. Okay. And then the principle revealed in this verse is clear. Quarrels can never come to an end by quarreling. War can never end through further wars. Enmity never ends by. I think we experience these things today's world, right? We can see them in our own eyes. These precious. So that means this is a very eternal, universal teaching. Only by giving up anger, enmity, quarreling, and wars can these evils be stopped, akusalas be stopped. It is true friendliness, metta, forgiving and forgetting that enmity ceases. Can you think about any person, any king or anybody who did this, what you call emperor things, and then could invade a lot of countries in our ancient stories? King Ashoka. In the recent history, Alexander and King Harsha, 6th century. Ashoka was in the 3rd century, right? So, now what happened to King Ashoka actually? It is said that King Ashoka killed more than 100,000 people and he wounded more than 100,000 people, right? Although he was very powerful because he got the support from Bactria. Bactria is modern Greece, near Greece. So he could do that. But finally he passed away with hatred. What was the hatred he had? Remorse. He was remorseful about things. At the same time, it is said that he was angry about one of the ladies who was fanning him. It struck his body, right? And then Harsha in the 6th century, and he was killed by others too, right? So this woe idea is not something that is appreciated in the Buddhist text. So overall, I think you may have a lot of questions to ask, so I'm leaving time for that. What we need to understand through today's story is, when it comes to our personal life, don't try to create enemies. There are some people who want to be your enemies, but be very careful, try to de-escalate. Keep safe boundaries. You don't have to be a victim in their hatred. You always keep boundaries. Actually, when you keep boundaries, you can practice sila very well. Some people don't know how to do it. They are too good, too good to be victimized. So only when you keep the proper sila boundaries, you can practice Dhamma well. Never let anybody go to this level. So you are good and you can practice metta, the most important thing here, very well in your life. All right, so any questions you got? So we will go with the questions from now. Yes. Microphone, yes. Please pass the mic. Yes.
This one cannot.
Don't mind, anybody who like to ask question can line up here, and then so that it can be recorded for the record.
Bhante, just regarding the story, right? The evil spirit sort of like gave up or realized after talking to the Buddha, then straight away she attained Sotapanna, is it? It's like, despite the past life, she did, so many, what do you call that, bad things. So it's just one realization it can escalate
Because she
to
met
the
the
next
right
level.
person to
Right?
understand what's going on.
Okay.
She was very evil. But she was evil insofar as she couldn't find anybody. She also doesn't know how evil she is. But when she meets the right teacher, they all got changed. And even she could attain Sotapatti. I think all this was changed due to the Buddha's influence, Buddha's teaching of this teaching. So that is why it was all changed. Perhaps this evil spirit must have done Sotapanna things in her life before. Because before she was carried away by this anger, this what you call vengeance. So she had done, but what happened due to certain activities, she became like that. But when the right teacher appeared in her life, she could understand that. So all got changed. But for other people, we cannot assume that this would happen in the same way, right? It might not be the case of other people, There are so many people who are harboring hatred in today's world, right? So, but luckily, the Buddha could change all that. Yeah. Actually, this is a very good teaching that we write and put up on our wall in our house. So important, because in our daily life, we become so angry and we want to react to other people. But when we see this, no, it's not going to work out. The Buddha said it's not going to work out. Here, Buddha teaches why it is not working out from the consequences side. When you learn metta, do metta, don't become angry, is a normal teaching. But when you see the result, consequence, you will never go to that level.
Bhante, I don't quite understand about this remorse as a akusala.
Remorse as a part of dosa.
Yes.
That's what you're asking.
Yes. If a person dies and he have remorse, that means he's aware of his past evil action, and why he carries on the unwholesome act to the future life.
Why she carries.
Yes.
Not at the best.
At the time of the death.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, very good observations too. So, why is remorse, kukucha a part of hatred? Because you think it shouldn't have happened. Then now you start to understand it. It shouldn't have happened, but it happened. Right? It was, now you think it was not in my best interest that led me to do it, but you realize now it shouldn't have happened, but it happened. And now you don't have Dhamma training to understand it. This is the problem. When you learn Dhamma, you realize, yes, I did the wrong thing, but now should I carry this or should I fix this before I die? I should fix this before. How to fix it? Bring Samma, right view, to understand, yes, I did the wrong thing. Hating myself for doing that is not the way. I have to do more good things now. So I do a change in my life, in the samsara. So the reason why it is a part of dosa is because somebody thinks that it shouldn't have happened, but it happened. I don't like it, but it happened. There are things happen to many people, right? So they did it in that time, but now they are not happy about it. So they want to change the history, but you can't change this history. Rather than you accept and move forward by bringing the right attitude towards your past. That is how it becomes a part of dosa. And why people are carrying this forward, it's because why it is happening to people before they die, because they have been covering it all the time, hiding, concealing it all the way until they die. But when you die, you cannot hide it. They are dominating you. Right? Akusalas are dominating you. Your past coverings are dominating you. Right? That's why in one of my talks, retreat, somebody said, one old gentleman, I think I shared with you that, knife. I think I shared with you last class. Then everybody was shocked, what is a knife? Because that gentleman was very old, almost 100 years old, and he butchered some animals, not at his interest. There was a certain cultural activity in that area. He was the one who did it for other people. Although he did it for other people, that butchering activity, now he knows Dhamma, and the butchering activity is going against his conscientiousness. The honesty is popping up. Then somebody, and because he got some Dhamma support, it happened. You did it not because you wanted to have it, because you were pushed to that thing or something like that. Remember Dhammapada story. I think I want to add that. Who is Dhammapada? Dhammapada was the public executioner during the Buddha's time to King Kosal, if I'm not mistaken. Dhammapada is a very interesting story, I think, to end until you have any questions. Dhammapada was a very fierce man. The teeth all brown, copper colored. Really very evil man. Looks. So he wanted to join a local gang. So he went, he said, I think 20 or 60 thieves, I want to join your group. And the head of the gang said, you look like more evil than us, so we don't want you to join our group. So you can do any wrong thing, So then what happened? He approached another gangster in the gang and said, I really want to join. I don't do anything wrong stuff. Then what happened? That man brought him to the head of the gang and they were okay. Then what happened? During this time, what happened? The government forces found all these thieves, that whole gang. And then they were asking, is there anybody who can chop all these thieves' heads off? Who will be doing that? So everybody is saying, no, we don't want to do that because we are all, friends. And then what happened? When they asked him, because he was not very popular in the gang, he said, I am willing to do that. He killed all these. Actually, that is the gut feeling that the third eye, the head of the gangsters, had earlier. He will do the same thing to us. Then what happened? There was an insurrection happened in the south, north, east, 500 thieves or something, and he started killing all these thieves at the request of the king. Then what happened? The government appointed him as a public execution. So he killed almost 3,000, 5,000 people until he becomes, until he worked for 55 years actually for that. So then later in his life, when he was going to chop off the thief's head, he couldn't do it. He is using 2-3 blows to do that. So people said, you are really torturing people now. You better step down now. So he stepped down. The day he stepped down, he asked certain things for his house, milk, rice and all that. So government supplied all that. That day, Arahant Sariputta thought, I would go to his house area to see whether he would give some pindapata to me. So he went to that house. So he's almost going to eat the milk rice. Actually, he had not had any milk rice in his life. He was eating all the coarse food because he was going to kill other people, right? So what happened? He thought, looks like a peaceful person. I want to give all this food to him. And then, while Arahant Sariputta was eating, he thought, this person is looking at me because he also wants to eat some of this food. So he gave some amount of milk rice to him. After that, then Arahant Sariputta started giving a Dhamma talk to him. But Tambadatika could not concentrate. Why? Tambadatika cannot concentrate. He is always thinking about 5,000 people he killed. Then Arahant Sariputta asked, why can't you concentrate about the Dhamma talk? He said, I cannot because I killed so many people. Then Arahant Sariputta wanted to be a little bit smart. Sometimes the Buddhas, Arahants became smarter, going beyond the wisdom. What he did? Why did you kill those people? Was it at your interest? Or ask a request? Or you kill them because somebody asked you to kill? Then he said, king asked me to kill. So then you kill because king asked you to kill. Then you can still learn Dhamma. So he was very happy. And he learned Dhamma. He was almost near becoming a Sotapanna at that point. So sometimes when any evil person is going to die, we don't have to bring about their bad things. We have to say even one single good thing that they done. Because if they were remorseful, they will be reborn in a bad place. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I mean, remorse is such powerful. I think when we are going to die, those last moments, what is more powerful is not our merits, but our remorses that we've been covering so many decades. That's why when someone is going to die, what is more helpful is if the person can hear you, always talk about the good things the person done in his or her life. You did dana, you did donate, you did this thing, you took precepts, you were very kind to other people. Always talk. Even that person become very motivated. Oh yes, I did, right? That thing. In addition to chanting and all these other things. That is very important. That's why when you see someone, always encourage, you are doing so many good things. That person is becoming more motivated to do more. I mean, you should not do not only with the people who are dying, but also with the living people. Otherwise, there are people who are waiting to do that just until they die, you know. Do it right now. Always encourage, motivate, appreciate other people. See how many good things you are doing, right? You are saying next time when you do something, share with us on social media. You know? See, you know? So I can also partake. Okay, any questions about stanza and the teachings today? If you have a question, then you need to go there, right? The mic. There's no mic over here, right? This time, yeah, I understand. Yes. You have a question? Huh? Oh, okay. I think next time we can ask both sides.
Yeah, Bhante, like just now you mentioned about meeting good teacher is important
Very important.
to the fact that the person can become a sotapanna from committing so many crimes. So, but how do we, I mean, that factor is uncontrollable, right, for us, whether we can meet good teacher or not.
That is uncontrollable.
Yeah, it's also again based on,
That's also good karma.
yeah, based on karma.
Yes, also
So-
good karma and effort.
So I find it, how to say, yeah. No, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the story just now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means evil people. We are talking evil people, just like this lady. I think a lot of evil people who are even in today's world would not continue to become evil if they had met the right people in their life. I think that is the basic idea here. If you talk it more and more, then we talk about this Buddha's meeting with her. Even in our today's life, if we meet the right people, that's why Kalyana Mitta is important, right?
Yeah.
So
in,
this idea,
in
yes.
other ways, controlling our environment in which we are
Not
in,
controlling, I think choosing
choosing our environment
choosing
is
our
very important.
sometimes it is not easy because you can't do it. You don't have a lot of choices to do it. I mean, affordability and your environment, your family, culture, right? You can't do a lot of choices. At least if you can do it in your way, it can help us to become better
So
in our life.
we cut off friends who are
No,
not friends.
we don't cut off. No, we don't cut off. We are more inclined towards those who have more saddha, sila, chaga, panya in clear terms. For others, we have just a high by friendship. We are not so close to everybody, right? Even now, as of now, some people we are very close to them. Why? We feel there's something we cross the path. So I think we have to turn to such people. Now, when we go to correctional facilities, prisons, sometimes, long time ago, what we hear from them is something very interesting about this teacher idea, meeting the right teacher. Saying, if I took 2 more minutes in that crime, I would have not done that thing. If I sometimes 2 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds, right? So that means, why you think you wanted to wait for 2 seconds? Maybe that person needed some appearance of somebody or something like that. So that means if we have the right people in our life, these Kalyana Mittas, of course, Arahants, Sammasambuddhas, at least someone who can guide us, although they have not attained Sotapatti, at the very least, at least we have them. We know what is wholesome, what is unwholesome. That will change our Dhamma life in 360 degree. Yes. But that change is very important.
Yeah. My another question is the Atanatiya Sutta. Is it really not a protective chant against the yaka?
It is a protective charm, but it is not the way how we are protected, how we hear from popular culture. In popular culture, what we know is when monks chant, yakas run away. Yakas don't run away. Yakas don't harm us. They are still around. You
But they
can't.
don't run away, but they don't harm. They don't,
They don't
harm.
harm because we actually, Atanatiya means we spread metta to them. Yeah. What happens in the sutta is Yakka head Vesavana comes to the Buddha and asks the Buddha, Bhante, you teach Atanatiya to your student monks and nuns when they go to forest and other places. So our evil Yakkas will not harm your disciples. So it's something like you winning their impressions, not that you chase them out. You can't do that. You are protected. Because when you are good, you are protected. Okay, last question. If you have any question, yes.
Okay, Hantu Bhante, I would just to like to understand more about the 16 Upakilesa. Just now we only touch, I think, 8 to 9. And out there is 16. So is it the one that Bhante touched is more into hatred? And how about the rest? Or which direction it lead to?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you can see MN 7 and 8. Here, I will show you. MN 7. I think Anumana Sutta, if I'm not mistaken. MN 7. See. Yeah, Vattu Sutta 7. Yeah, if you go to this sutta, MN 7, Majjhima Nikaya 7, this sutta teaches us a certain category of akusala. So these akusalas are subcategories of main akusalas. That's why they are called upakilesa, not kilesa, upakilesa. They are subcategories. That means they are, I could say, the byproducts of lobha, dosa, moha. So most of them, if you go to this thing, most of them are coming from dosa. Because we are into akusala oftentimes with hatred. Not with lobha all the time. Listen, we will become greedy time to time. All this is happening because of moha. But dosa is the most important, the worst akusala that gives us a lot of akusala byproducts. So there are 16. So this is what we learn that is given in the Vattumma Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 7. Oh, maybe there is another sutta called, there are so many suttas about it. Upakilesa Sutta. There are many. So you can learn that. Actually, these are very important. These are subtle akusalas we might have. You see here, you can take a look. Maya. Maya. What is Maya? Maya means, No, Maya means the nature of covering our own akusala. Actually, the remorse that is coming to us at the end is happening because we had Maya before. Maya means the nature of covering our akusala. Because you might boast about your kusala all the time. I did this and that. I did how much things I done. But you never boast about your akusala. But there are people who are boasting about their akusala. I kill other people. I'm so happy about it. Those people are revealing what they have done. But most people, they are concealing their akusala nature. When you conceal, it is also an akusala. It is a upakilesa at that. Make sense? Okay, so you can learn that too. We are calling them as upakilesa, 16 upakilesas. Okay, I think we have almost come down to the end of our today's lesson. Good side you can find if you flip the other side. Let's say covetousness, unrighteous greed. That means dana, ill will, anger. I think metta. So we can find it. But Buddha wanted to create an ethical boundary for us. That's why when Buddha talks about akusala, he is trying to tell us the ethical boundaries. So we are safe in that activity, right? That's why somebody might ask, why couldn't the Buddha say, I take the first precept of taking care of all beings? but it is not going to be very inclusive. Why is it? Then people don't know what is my ethical boundary to stop killing other people. So Buddha said, I'm not going to take life of any other being. That is the ethical boundary. If you cross it, you create the akusala. Right? So the reason why he picked up these byproducts in 16 is to create the ethical boundaries of certain actions that are coming from Lobha Dosa. But of course, if you can flip the thing around, you can see the other sides. Say for instance, Saramba. Saramba is very interesting. Saramba means, it's a presumption. Saramba means, what do you call, outdoing other people good activities. Two people do dana, other one want to do better dana than the other one. It's also akusala. Very interesting. I mean, you do your own way, but if you simply want to do dana just to emulate better than the other person, you have come to an upakilesa, saramba. So it's very important. I think when we only talk about loba dana, we don't understand that. But only when we know saramba, oh, sometimes we do good things to compete with other people. Remember a long time ago in Sri Lanka, Katina time, one family has to do the Katina, in Sri Lanka. Not in village temple, in city temples, one family has to sponsor a lot of money. So one time, there was one family brought an elephant into the Katina procession. Okay? 201 certain year, they brought an elephant. So then the next year family, now they thought, now the one elephant came. If we want to do better, we have to find out 2 elephants. So they brought 2 elephants after that. Lots of money, And as this goes on, it went to the 3rd, 4th year. Then the 5th family brought 4 elephants, and elephants got mad. All the procession was a mess after that, right? So because finally it was all competition to do good things, which is not a good. This is called saramba. Okay, I think with that we are going to go to the transference of merits. Today we learn about the importance of not carrying any dosa in our life. It might be natural for us to go to hate depending on our training. If you can diminish that, much nicer, beneficial for you. But never ever take it to other lives. So otherwise we will see the same thing that happened to these 2 women. Luckily they found the Buddha, but I don't think we will have any chance to meet that encounter. So we will be in the samsara all the way at that point. That's what we learn. So may all the good karmas you been making today be transferred to all departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.